So this is what we're making, a box chain. It could be called a serpentine because it looks a bit like scales from a snake. It's been called a few other names, but it's a lovely chain. It's very tactile. This is 0.9 wire with a 4.5 millimeter mandrel. And I'll show you how to assemble it with the bigger jump rings. This will take roughly 2.5 meters of 0.9 wire. After you've cut your jump rings, when you're closing them, if you push it past itself, bring it back, push it past the other way, bring it back, normally you'll have a nice tight join, and that's what we want. Now these are big jump rings. These are 12 millimeter diameter. So I can show you how to assemble this chain. So what we're going to do is we're going to close 4 of them. Just pretend like these are your parallel jaw pliers. Then we're going to put those 4 on a single jump ring. Close that and put another one parallel to that one. Close that one. Now go put these on your third hand, solder these one at a time. After it's soldered, what you want is 2, 2, and 2. Put something that you can use as a handle on 2 of them. And we're going to start. We'll fold these 2 back. Fold them right back so that they come back up underneath these 2. Spread that. Let me get something I can show you with. And then you're going to put 2 more jump rings through here. Yeah. So I'll show you again. Fold these 2 right back. Spread this, come through, and get them. Okay, now we have that. And you can use a bit of wire, pretty much anything, to hold that until you can get your next jump ring through. Close this, put another one next to it, and then we want it so that it's 2 and 2. So we start with 2, 2, 2, and then from then on it's just 2 and 2. So now we have our next 2 and 2. Flip those back. Spread that. Put your little holder in there and put your next set of 2 and 2. Now as you're assembling this, because we're going to be soldering it, what you have at this point is all of these up here will be soldered. You'll have these 4 that you need to solder now. So once those are soldered, and then you flip them back and you start with your next set of 2 and 2. All of these will be soldered then your next set of 2 and 2 won't be. Solder them, flip them back, and this is your box chain. I'm holding the jump ring completely opposite to the join, and what we want is to have this as far away from the join as possible so it doesn't suck heat away from it. I'm using my solder snippers, and I'm not using a full length of solder for this, because what we want is an ideal amount of solder that doesn't overpower this. We want just the exact amount of solder. So get your sizes right. You don't want too much because it's too difficult to clean up. So we'll just flux the join, and you don't have to put a serious amount of flux on this, just a tiny amount right on the join. And we're going to pick solder. Nice neutral flame. Heat the pick, bring it down, touch the solder will jump on. Bring your flame up from the bottom. Now, as you can see, get this to focus, there's just really close to the exact amount of solder on there, and that's what we want because it's too difficult to clean this up. So try to get your amount of solder correct. So now we're just going to keep shifting this around until we've got all of our jump rings soldered, and then I'll show you what to do. Quench it, dry it, flip those two back. Spread those two, pick the ones up that you just spread back. Put your jump rings through there, 2, 2. You can see it makes a nice little chain. It's fiddly. This is one that you can assemble without soldering, but to me, the unsoldered one is craft work, and the soldered one is jewelry. It's just my own personal thing. So continue until it fits you. Then you'll put a single jump ring through the end, single jump ring through the other end, make a hook. When it's all completely assembled and soldered, pickle it and tumble it. So that's our first 20 jump rings. Only 100 to go. So put this down, go have a cuppa, and then continue. And just leave your wire through there when you put it down, that way you know exactly where you are when you come back. Okay, just for fun, I'm going to take a coil, cut 20 jump rings, assemble it, solder it, and we'll see how long that 20 takes. So I'll just start this and go to work. Okay, that's the next 20, and it's taken me that long. Now, when you're making jewelry, don't hurry. The first time you make a piece, will be the longest time it takes. So if you're making something for resale that you need to know how much time you've put in it, time yourself. Otherwise, jewelry takes however long it takes to make. Don't hurry and do the best possible job you can. Now, this is something that if you made start to finish, you'd probably be a bit crazy at the end of it, and you definitely would need a little lie down in a darkened room. So take your time, do a little bit, put it aside. If you get frustrated making any jewelry, put it aside for a while. It's supposed to be pleasurable. So continue, and that's our chain. It's a nice chain, I like it. One last thing is if you're working and you haven't been pickling this and your fingers start to feel a little bit thick, what's happening is you're slightly allergic to the flux. Now the flux is just borax and boric acid powder, which is basically a strong soap. Just go wash your hands, and you may have to pickle as you work, but it shouldn't be harmful, but some people are allergic to the flux, so just be aware.